जय बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवन चारी यमुना तीरवन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा वृंदावन चंद्र राधे जय राधा नील माधव राधा नील माधव राधे जय रुक्मिणी देवी जय द्वारकाधीश जय रुक्मिणी देवी जय द्वारकाधीश जय जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय लड्डू गोपाल जय बाल मुकुंद जय लड्डू गोपाल जय बाल मुकुंद जय राधा दामोदर Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman Jaya Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Nitai Gaura Haribol 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय गोपाल की गुरुदेव की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं उदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very big sub-conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with cancelled songs, is established as a full fact. So, Hare Krishna, welcome all of you. Thank you for joining and keeping the appointment with Krishna today. So, today's verse is 3rd canto, 28th chapter, verse number 25. So, this chapter is entitled Kapila's instructions on the execution of devotional service. So let us recite the verse first. Krishna. Nabhirdam bhuvanakosha guhodarastam yatratmayo nidishanakhila lokapadmam vyudham harin manivrisha stanayoramushya dhyaye dvayam vishadhara mayuka gauram Nabhirdam bhuvanakosha guhodarastam yatratmayoni dishanakhila lokapadmam vyudham harin manivrisha stanayoramushya dhyaye dvayam vishadhara mayuka gauram Nabhirdam bhuvanakosha guhodarastam yatratmayoni dishanakhila lokapadmam vyudham dharin manivrisha stanayoramushya dhyaye dvayam vishadhara mayuka gauram. Yes, anybody will try to recite?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mother.
Nabhihridam bhuvanakosha-guhodarastham yatratmayo nidhishanakila-lokapadmam vyudham harinmanivrishastanayoramushya dhyayedvayam vishadhara mayukha gauram. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother. Hare Krishna. Anybody else?
May I, Prabhuji?
Yes, ma'am.
Nabhiridam bhuvanakosha guhodarastham yatratmayo nidhishana kilalokapadma vyudham harin manivrishasta nayoramushya dhyayedadvayam vishadhara mayukha gauram. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji's. Anybody?
Krishna, may I?
Yes.
नाभिहृदं भुवनकोश कुहोदरस्थं यत्रात्मयोनिदिशिना किल लोकपद्मं व्यूढं हरीन् मणिवृषत् स्तनयोरमुष्य ध्यायेद्वयं विशदहार मयूखगौरम्.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Jai. The word to word meaning synonyms. Nabhi Hridam, the navel lake. Bhavana Kosha, of all the worlds. Guha, the foundation. Udana, on the abdomen. Stham, situated. Yatra, where. Atma Yoni, of Brahma. Dishana, residence. Akhila Loka, containing all planetary systems. Padmam, the lotus. Vyudham, sprang up. Harit Mani, like emeralds. Vrisha, most exquisite. Stanayoho, of nipples. Amushya, of the Lord. Dhyayet, he should meditate on. Dvayam, the pair. Vishada, white. Hara, of pearl necklaces. Mayukha, from the light. Gauram, whitish. Translation and purport which Divine Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. The yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all the different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds and which appear whitish because of the rays of the milk-white pearl necklaces adorning his chest. Purport. The yogi is advised next to meditate upon the navel of the Lord, which is the foundation of all material creation. Just as a child is connected to his mother by the umbilical cord, so the firstborn living creature, Brahma, by the supreme will of the Lord, is connected to the Lord by a lotus stem. In the previous verse, it was stated that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who engages in massaging the legs, ankles, and thighs of the Lord, is called the mother of Brahma. But actually, Brahma is born from the abdomen of the Lord, not from the abdomen of his mother. So these are inconceivable conceptions of the Lord. And one should not think materially. How can the father give birth to a child? It is explained in the Brahma Samhita that each limb of the Lord has the potency of every other limb, because everything is spiritual. His parts are not conditioned. The Lord can see with his ears. The material ear can hear but cannot see. But we understand from the Brahma Samhita that the Lord can also see with his ears and hear with his eyes. Any organ of his transcendental body can function as any other organ. His abdomen is the foundation of all the planetary systems. Brahma holds the post of the creator of all planetary systems, but his engineering energy is generated from the abdomen of the Lord. Any creative function in the universe always has a direct connecting link with the Lord. The necklace of pearls, which decorates the upper portion of the Lord's body, is also spiritual. And therefore, the yogi is advised to gaze at the whitish luster of the pearls decorating his chest. Jai Sri Prabhupada's transcendental purport ki jai. Om Gyantamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganlalita Shri Vishaka Tamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhu Vayevacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yavanta Pravishya Mamavacha Imam Prasuptam, Sanjeevayate Klashakti Dharasvadama, Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanatvagadi, Prana Namo Bhagavate, Prashayatavyam. Mukam Karoti Vachan Pankam Nagvishya Nirtukhatam Param. Namo Vishnu 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 Vutale, Shrimati Mahashko Samiti Namne, Namo Vishnu 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 Bhakti Vidhan Samiti Nilusheshwanya Vasha Shanjaya Krishna. So Hare Krishna, brothers, thank you very much once again and welcome for joining this Bhagavatam session. So this chapter, Kapila's instructions on execution of devotional ways. Because Devavati Mata, no, she was asking questions how to get from this entanglement of material misery, material entanglement, how we can get out of it, right? So Kapil Deva is beautiful instructions in this chapter. And in fact, from the 18th verse, I think up to the 33rd, the process to fix the mind is given. That is how to meditate. The yogi, to meditate on certain things. It's not on the why. It is always, he's giving the description from where you should start. I think previous verse is so. We should start from the lotus feet of the Lord and then go up to the face. So one has to fix his mind on the Supreme Personality of God constantly. See, in the verse, purport of 19th verse, very nicely, that purport is so good, which we should understand. See, the process, Prabhupada says, the process of meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead within oneself and the process of chanting the glories and pastimes of the Lord are the same. Understood? See, the process of meditating on the form of personality of Godhead within oneself and the process of chanting the glories and pastimes of the Lord are the same. The only difference is that hearing and fixing the mind on the pastimes of the Lord is easier than visualizing the form of the Lord within one's heart. Because as soon as one begins to think of the Lord, especially in this age, Kali Yuga, the mind becomes disturbed. And due to such agitation, so much agitation, the process of seeing the Lord within the mind is interrupted. When there is a sound vibrated, praising the Lord, transcendental pastimes of the Lord, then one is forced to hear, right? When you're chanting Hare Krishna, loudly you're chanting, you are hearing. So that hearing process enters into the mind. And the practice of yoga is automatically performed. For example, Prabhupada doesn't leave it like that. No, he gives an example. For example, when even a child can hear and derive the benefit of meditating on the pastimes of the Lord simply by listening to a reading from the Bhagavatam that describes the Lord as he is going to the pasturing ground with his cows and friends. Hearing includes applying the mind. In this age of Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended that one should always engage in chanting and hearing Bhagavad Gita. The Lord also says that the Mahatmas or great souls, they always engage in the process of chanting the glories of the Lord. And just by hearing, others derive the same benefit. So yoga necessitates meditation on the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, whether he's standing, moving, lying down, etc. Very clearly, beautifully given in this purport. See, Brahma is our creator and he is known as Swayambhu. The meaning of Swayambhu is born himself. See, he was not born by material force as we are born. Suti Vataihi is a very nice word. We said in Srimad Bhagavatam. Suti Vataihi means the air of the delivery. See, when we are born from mother's womb, in 3:31:10, you can see that. See, there is an air pushing us from the mother's womb. And because of the air, we are forced to come out of the womb. That is Suti Vataihi. So we are born by material force, air force. Right? We are not born by air force. But this Brahma is not born like that. We know that from navel of Mahavishnu, there is a lotus flower. And on that lotus flower, Brahmaji was born. And that's why he is known as Swayambhu. So when he was born, it was all dark. He didn't know why he is there. Totally dark. No association of devotees. No, not that temple, nothing was there. On his own, he tried to find out what is the reason. Why is he there? He couldn't understand. For millions of years, why is there? He couldn't understand. What is the reason? Who created him? And why he was created? He was completely blank. So, what did he do? So Brahmaji entered the stem of the lotus and he traveled millions of years. But still, he could not go to the root. He was completely disgusted. See, on our own, we cannot find out the Lord. That is mental speculation. And we try without fail to find out the Lord with our mental capacity, which completely falls short to go to the Lord, right? Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Lord can only be found or experienced by bhakti. That is why in every verse, in recitation of verse, we must have bhakti while recitation. And in reading the purports, we must have bhakti. In dealing with each other, we must have bhakti. We should be very pleased to see each other. And not like an ordinary type, like hypocrisy. They will smile. Oh, how nice to see you, Prabhu. How nice. And as soon as you step out, they will say, idiot, this is ordinary people. We are not like that. He is in Maya. Correct. Our heart is completely pure because of daily contact with the Lord. Continuous contact with the Lord. Therefore, there is no inebriety in our hearts. And because there is no inebriety in our heart, our blood system is flowing completely normally. See, just think about it. We see, if we are staying in our apartments, in our houses, the room may be about 10 by 10. And in that 10 by 10 room, there are so many bodies. Parents are there, wife are there, children are there. Oxygen available will be less than not pure. So if you want to have pure oxygen, good blood system, and healthy body, you must come to the temples. That's why our temples are very gorgeous, right? Brahma was not able to find out the reason why he was born. And in the end, he didn't know. But from the heart, he was suggested by the Lord. And only one word he could hear. Ta-pa. Best word, right? It's the very best word, ta-pa. So that is the first word suggested by the Lord. Spurati. Lord did not come personally, but he suggests you. See, we also get the suggestions from the heart, from Paramatma. So when you act according to his suggestion, your life goes very nicely. But we hardly act according to the suggestions of the super soul. And in the end, the super soul may suggest something. Now, because we don't hear and close our ears, we stop hearing the super soul. And then we are completely gliding down into the lower species of existence. So while in this body, it's very difficult. So in this body also, we behave like a dog. And whoever comes in front of us, we bark at him. Wow. And that living entity runs away from us. So this is what is happening in our life. Without hearing the suggestions of the Chaitya Guru. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanura Mardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Mande Jagadguru. See, Srila Prabhupada, he says, saintly persons like Sanaka, Sanatana, Brahma, they were able to see the entire universe by the mercy of the Lord. And through the knowledge of the Lord, right? So the significance of the example of Brahma, Dhruva Maharaj, the four Kumaras, which is given by Srila Prabhupada, is that these devotees, they perform great austerities. They perform very great austerities. And we should not forget this. See, the perseverance of the penance is a royal road to the heart of Krishna. The perseverance, diligently determined to do that penance, the perseverance of penance, this is the royal road to the heart of Krishna. Krishna's mercy does not require a cause to attract. Okay. It is not known as costless mercy. But Krishna's mercy is attracted by those who are performing two things in the material world. Bhagavad Gita 2.64, Krishna says, Raga Dvesha Vimuktais Vishayanindriyaicharan Atma Vashyer Videyatma Prasadam Adhigacchati. It says, but a person free from all attachment and aversion, free from all attachment and aversion, and able to control his senses through regulative principles of freedom, can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord. This is the only verse in Bhagavad Gita that tells us directly how the Lord's mercy has descended on Brahma, Dhruva, and all the great devotees. So what is the connection between Brahma and Dhruva Maharaj, apart from the family connection? The real connection between them is behavior. And that is the key. Bhagavatam must translate into behavior. Otherwise, it is in the sky. There is no point in reading Bhagavatam if we cannot translate it into behavior. See, Brahma was born from the lotus stem in the navel of the Lord. When he was born, he was alone. See, today, when we are alone, we see that without sadhu sangha, we cannot do devotional service. But Brahma was alone. That's why my Guru Maharaj always used to say, see, Brahma is very nice. The message of Brahma is very nice. We have to tolerate the loneliness in the material world. But by being with Srimad Bhagavatam, we are never alone. Brahmaji was a little bit depressed and dejected on account of being alone, no? And he searched for 100 celestial years in the lotus stem. And he looked in all the 4 directions to see who has created him. Now, even though he was dejected, he performed a very important activity. He started performing penance. The moment we come to the devotional service, we have to work very, very hard. Because we follow in the parampara of Brahmaji, who worked very hard. We must be prepared to be alone. We must not forget that at the end of our life, when we are going to die, no matter how many people surround us, we are still alone. We shall have to flap the wings alone. So Brahmaji learned this lesson very early in his life. Dhruva Maharaj also was alone. He performed the greatest austerity. See, whatever Brahmaji did for 100 years, the little boy Dhruva Maharaj did in a few months. So they show us the royal way to become successful in our devotional service. You know what is the greatest perseverance? Our greatest perseverance in our penance is to wake up for Mangalarati. So greatest perseverance in our penance is to wake up for Mangalarati. So when Brahmaji was initially born, he did not have any clue, right? He saw only the waters of devastation everywhere. And seeing that, he became very perplexed. Then he had the natural questions. Who am I? Where I came from? What am I meant to do? Of course, he started in speculation. He thought, I have come from this lotus flower, therefore my source is coming from the lotus stem. So these are the questions which Brahmaji is asking. These are the questions which we should ask. Who am I? Where I came from? What am I meant to do? What is the purpose of my life? What is the connection with the Lord? What is my relationship with Krishna? But these are the questions we should ask. And why am I suffering in this material world? This question we never ask. Because we feel we are very happy in this material world. Right? So Brahmaji went down trying to find out the source, right? So he said in Srimad Bhagavatam that he traveled down for millions of years. He endeavored and worked very hard. But however, he was totally despondent. So one point we have to remember. Sometimes we also work very hard in our lives. But the results are zero. That's why very nice Kirtan Bhajan is there. Bifale sevinu kripana durajana chapala sukala balagire. It says, for a bit of flickering happiness, I have vainly served a wicked and miserly man. Bhajoreman, there's a beautiful bhajan, no? There it is, beautiful Govindas Thakur is saying, Bifale sevinu kripana durajana chapala sukala balagire. For a bit of flickering happiness, I have vainly served wicked and miserly men. So Brahmaji got very, very tired and he decided, this is beyond me. I have to come up again to the lotus flower. So he came up and there he thought, this is something beyond me. It is so big that I can't contemplate the source of it. Therefore, what I have to do? I have to submit and surrender. So this is the natural conclusion Brahmaji reached. So when he reached that conclusion, no, Krishna spoke 3 times. Tapa, tapa, tapa. Brahmaji then realized the Lord has reciprocated, and now I have to engage in austerity. So he did 100 celestial years of tapasya, trying to find out the aim of his life. Then he realized the purport of the Vedas in his heart. The first verse, 111 of Bhagavatam, Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavai. Krishna revealed to him the purpose of his life. Then Brahma became enlightened. And when Brahma was enlightened, he was able to do the work in the correct spirit and the right manner. So we have to note from this that endeavoring hard may be there, but unless and until it is in a submissive mood, surrendering to the Supreme Lord, it will have no value and no results. So even if it bears results, because it is not directed to the Lord, actually the results at the end of the day are nullified. That's why Shukadeva Goswami very nicely says in Bhagavatam 2:4-17, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all auspicious Lord Shri Krishna again and again, because the great learned sages, the great performers of charity, the great workers of distinction, the great philosophers and mystics, great chanters of the Vedic hymns, and the great followers of Vedic principles cannot achieve any fruitful result without dedication of such great qualities to service of the Lord. If we really want to be successful in our career or job, and the job may include anything, it may be deity worship, cooking for the deity, going out to office, labor job, sweeping the temple. So these prayers by Lord Brahma are useful because these prayers are offered in the mood of surrender, requesting for directions from the Lord. See the purport of 132 Bhagavatam. The first Purusha is the Karanukadakashayi Vishnu. And from his skin holes, not one universe, innumerable universes have sprung up. And in each and every universe, the Purusha enters as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. And he is lying within half of the universe, which is full with water of his body. And from the navel of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu has sprung the stem of the lotus flower, the birthplace of Brahma. And who is Brahma? He is the father of all living beings and the master of all the demigod engineers engaged in the perfect design and working of the universal order. So within the stem and the lotus, there are 14 divisions of planetary systems. And the earthly planets are situated in the middle. Upwards, there are other better planetary systems. In the topmost system is called Brahmaloka or Satyaloka. Downwards from the earthly planetary system, there are 7 lower planetary systems, which are inhabited by the Asuras and similar other materialistic living beings. So, from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, there is expansion of the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, who is the collective Paramatma of all living beings. And he is called Hari. And from him, all incarnations within the universe are expanded. So, the conclusion is that the Purusha Avatara is manifested in 3 features. First, the Karanukadakashayi Vishnu, who creates aggregate material ingredients in the Mahat Tattva. Second, the Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who enters in each and every universe. And third, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, who is the Paramatma of every material object, organic or inorganic. And Prabhupada says, one who knows these plenary features of the personality of Godhead knows God properly, the Godhead properly. And thus, the knower becomes freed from the material conditions of birth, death, old age, and disease, as it is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. You know the second Vishnu incarnation, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, right? He enters each and every universe, spreads the perspiration from his body and lies down on that water. So from his navel grows the stem of a lotus flower. And on that lotus flower, the first creature Brahma is born. Now within the stem of that lotus flower are the 14 divisions of planetary systems, which are created by Brahma. And in the form of Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, the Lord maintains each universe and tends to its needs. Although he is within each material universe, the influence of material energy cannot touch him. When it is required, this very same Vishnu takes the form of Lord Shiva and annihilates the cosmic creation. So the 3 secondary incarnations, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, are the predominant deities of the 3 modes of material nature. So the master of the universe is Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, who is worshipped as Hiranyagarbha, super soul. So the Vedic hymns describe me as having thousands of heads. Very nicely given in teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And Kunti Maharani, the teachings, in her teachings, we can see hearing and chanting waters the seed of devotional service, and which develops one's original consciousness. So in these prayers, Kunti Maharani's prayers, which a great devotee is giving us an opportunity to become Krishna conscious simply by concentrating our mind on the Pankaja. Pankaja is the lotus flower. Panka means mud and Ja means generate. See, although the lotus flower is generated from the mud, it is the most important flower. And Krishna likes it very much. So Kunti Devi describes all the parts of Krishna's body with reference to lotus flowers. So that as soon as one sees the lotus flower, one will immediately think of Krishna. Oh, Krishna's navel is just like a lotus. And from Krishna's navel grew the stem of the lotus upon which Brahma, the creator of the universe, was born. So this universe includes so many planets, seas, mountains, cities with motor cars, and so many other paraphernalia. The entire universe began from that lotus. Nama Pankajam Baline. From Krishna comes the wonderful lotus flower that contains the seed of the entire universe. But he is not the source of only one such flower. Krishna is not so poor, that he simply produces one lotus flower and then it is finished. No. Just as there may be a garland with many flowers, Krishna is the source of innumerable universes. So which may be compared to a big garland of lotuses. This is God. Yasya kanishvas nivashita kala mathavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanataha. Brahma Samhita 5.48. Krishna is unlimited. We are very much concerned with this one planet. But Krishna's creation contains unlimited number of planets. We cannot count how many planets there are. So this is the nature of Krishna's creation. To give another example, see, on one tree, there is unlimited number of leaves. Similarly, there is an unlimited number of planets. And there are unlimited universes. Therefore, Krishna is unlimited. Krishna's navel resembles a lotus. So he is garlanded with lotuses. And his eyes are also compared to the petals of a lotus. Alola Chandra Kalasatva Namalya Vamshi. Again, Brahma Samhita. So if we simply think of only this one verse, which describes Krishna's body with reference to the lotus, we can meditate our whole life how beautiful Krishna is, how wise Krishna is, how Krishna manifests his creation. This is meditation, thinking of Krishna. Yogi is one who always thinks of Krishna. Yogi is one who always thinks of Krishna. So those who think of something impersonal are not yogis. Their meditation simply involves undergoing more and more labor. Bhagavad Gita says, 12.5. Klesho adhikatar tesham avyakta satta chesasam. And they cannot reach anything substantial. Therefore, after meditation, they say, come on, give me a cigarette. Come on, my throat is now dry. Give me a cigarette. This is not meditation. Meditation means thinking of Krishna always. Satatam chintayatva ma. And endeavoring to advance in Krishna consciousness with a firm vow. Hitantascha dridhavritaha. We have to be purified. Very important. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. Because Krishna is pure, we cannot approach Krishna impurely. But if we think of Krishna always and meditate upon Krishna, then we shall be purified. Punya Shravana Kirtanaha. So that meditation can be possible by hearing and chanting. And then thinking of Krishna will automatically come. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. The word Smaranam means remembering. If we chant and hear, then remembrance will automatically come. And then we shall engage in worshipping Krishna's lotus feet, Sevanam. Then we shall engage in the temple worship, Archanam. In offering prayers, Vandanam. We shall engage ourselves as Krishna's servants, Dasyam. We shall become Krishna's friends, Sakhyam. And we shall surrender everything to Krishna, Atma Nivedanam. So this is the process of Krishna consciousness, 9 process of devotional service. The best example is Ambarish Maharaj. See, the personality of God, Krishna, is a reservoir of all strength. And his strength rests on the thighs of the transcendental body. His whole body is full of opulences. All riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation. The yogi is advised to meditate upon the transcendental form of the Lord, beginning from the soles of the feet, lotus feet, and then gradually rising to the knees, thighs, finally arriving at the feet. So the system of meditation or meditating on the Supreme Lord begins from his lotus feet. The description of the transcendental form of the Lord exactly represented the Archa Vigraha. The statue or the Archa Vigraha in the temples we can see, right? See, generally, Prabhupada says the lower part of the body of the statue of the Lord is covered with yellow silk. That is the Vaikuntha dress, or the dress the Lord wears in the spiritual sky. And this cloth extends down to the Lord's ankles. Thus, since the yogi has so many transcendental objectives on which to meditate, there is no reason for his meditating on something imaginary. Correct? As is the practice of the so-called yogis whose objective is impersonal. In another purpose, Prabhupada says, Lord appears in particular form loved by a particular type of devotee. This 328, in the 29th verse, which will come later on. The Lord appears in the particular form loved by a particular type of devotee. See, there are millions of forms of the Lord, but they are one, absolute. As stated in Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Mananta Rupam. All the different forms of the Lord are one, but some devotees want to see him in the form of Radha and Krishna. Others prefer him as Sita and Ramachandra. Others would see him as Lakshmi Narayana. Right? Others want to see him as 400 Narayana Vasudeva. The Lord has innumerable forms, and he appears in a particular form as preferred by a particular type of devotee. So a yogi is advised to meditate upon the forms that are approved by devotees. Yogi cannot imagine a form for meditation. Prabhupada very powerfully says this. Those so-called yogis who manufacture a circle or target are engaged in nonsense. Actually, the yogi must meditate upon the form of the Supreme Personality of God. And that has been experienced by the Lord's pure devotees. Yogi means devotees. Prabhupada very nicely. Yogi means devotee. Yogis who are not actually pure devotees, they should follow in the footsteps of devotees. And it is especially mentioned that the yogi should meditate upon the form which is thus approved. He cannot manufacture a form of the Lord. In one of the lectures, Prabhupada says that all the signs of loving God, there must be some book, some authoritative literature. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a spotless description of understanding how to love God. There is no other description. See, from the beginning it is teaching how to love God. Those who have studied Srimad Bhagavatam, the first verse in the first canto is Janmadhyasya Yataha Satyam Param Dhimahi. 111. It says, "O my Lord, Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations and is independent because there is no other cause beyond him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed in delusion, as one is bewildered by the illusory representation of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of three modes of material nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. So the beginning is that I am offering my unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme, from whom everything is emanated. Janmadhyasya Yataha. It's a great description in this first translation of the first verse. So Srimad Bhagavatam, no, if you want to learn how to love God or Krishna, then study Srimad Bhagavatam. There is no difficulty. The fact is that we have to learn how to love Krishna. So direction is there, method is there. And we are trying to serve as far as possible. See, we see Nagar Sankirtan going on, right? We are trying to serve people, right? To invite people for the programs. We should take this opportunity and then the life will be successful. See, because the human form of life is meant for developing love for God. Oh, see, all other life we have loved. We allowed our children, we allowed our wife, we allowed our nest in the bird's life, in the beast's life. There is love. There is no necessity of teaching a bird or beast how to love the children. No necessity, because that is natural. To love your home, to love your country, to love your husband, to love your children, wife. All this love, more or less, they are all in the animal kingdom also. But that sort of love will not give you happiness. You'll be frustrated. Because this body is temporary. Therefore, all these loving affairs are also temporary. They're not pure. They're simply a perverted reflection of the pure love that is existing between you and Krishna. So, if you really want peace, if you really want satisfaction, if you don't want to get confused, try to love Krishna. That is a plain program. Then your life will be successful. Krishna conscious movement is not something manufactured to mislead and bluff the people. Prabhupada says it's the most authorized movement. Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Vedanta Sutra, Puranam, and many great saintly persons adopted this. The greatest example is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You see his picture, he's in the dancing mood. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama. We have to learn this art, then our life will be successful. We don't have to practice anything artificial or speculating and bothering the brain. No, the instinct for loving others, that is instinctive, natural. So simply we are misplacing the love. Therefore, we are frustrated, confused, rejected, disappointed, right? So if you don't want to be confused or dejected or anything, or don't want to be frustrated, then try to love Krishna. You will feel yourself how you are making progress in peacefulness, happiness, everything you want. So from the beginning of the creation, the same illusion is continued. What was that? Brahma, no, when he was born, he was created not by ordinary father and mother, but he was created on a lotus flower, which grew from the level of Mahavishnu, Garbhodak Kashaya Vishnu. So Brahma, another name is Aja. He's not born like ordinary human being. Swayambhu, he is known as Swayambhu. Everyone is born by father and mother, but he was born different. So this is the omnipotency. The Lord Vishnu is lying on the Shesha bed. And Lakshmi is engaged in the service of massaging the lotus feet of Vishnu. But Vishnu did not take the help of Lakshmi to beget Brahma. He personally begot from the navel. Therefore, we should understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead can perform anything he likes from any part of his body. Then that we chant always. Angani yasya sakalendriya vittimanti. Again, Brahma Samhita. So we have got knowledge, experience, that when a child is born, it has got a different source of being born. But Garbhodak Kashaya Vishnu wanted the child to be born from the navel and not from the mother of the navel. There was no mother, but the father himself. So this is called Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti. See, the lower planetary systems, no, up to the limit of the earthly stratum, are said to be situated in the Lord's legs. The middle planetary systems, beginning from Bhuvar Loka, are situated in his navel. Still higher planetary systems, occupied by demigods and sages and saints, are situated in the chest of the Supreme Lord. Everybody might be knowing that there are 14 spheres of planetary systems within this universe. There is only one universe. There are many universes, but we are in this one universe. So the lower systems are called Bhur Loka. The middle systems are called Bhuvar Loka. And the higher planetary systems, up to Brahma Loka, the highest planetary system of the universe are called Swar Loka. And all of them are situated in the body of the Lord. See, no one within this universe is without a relationship with the Lord. So the universe is divided into 14 planetary systems. 7 planetary systems are called higher ones: Bhur, Bhuvar, Swar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and Satya. They are upward planetary systems, one above the other. There are also 7 planetary systems downward, known as Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and Patala, gradually one below the other. So we see in this verse 2:126 purport, the description begins from the bottom because it is a line of devotion. That the Lord's bodily description should begin from his feet. So Shukadeva Goswami is a recognized devotee of the Lord. And he is exactly correct in this description. One should know that Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor of the planetary systems of the universe. He was existing before the creation and he is different from his creation. All the demigods were created within this material world. But as far as Krishna is concerned, it said that he is not created. He is Ajar, he is unborn. Therefore, Krishna is different even from the great demigods like Brahma and Shiva. And because he is the creator of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods, he is the supreme person of all planets. See, there's one nice pastime from which we can understand. The kings and princes, they were released by Krishna after the death of Jarasandha. You know, Jarasandha, so many times he went in search of finishing the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, Balaram, and all. But every time he was defeated, but Krishna left Jarasandha and he went again, he assembled everybody and again came back like that. So, after the death of Jarasandha, kings and princes, who are rulers of different parts of the world. So, Jarasandha was so powerful in military strength that he had conquered all these princes and kings. It was numbering about 20,800. They were all within a mountain cave, especially considered as a fort. And for a long time, they were kept in that situation. So when they were released by the grace of Krishna, they all looked very unhappy. Their garments were torn, faces were almost dried up for want of proper bodily care. They were very weak due to hunger. Their faces had lost all beauty and luster. The long imprisonment, right? They caused every part of the body to become invalid. However, look at the beauty now. Because in that miserable condition, they had the opportunity to think about Lord Krishna. They immediately saw him now as the Supreme Personality of God, Vishnu. They saw that the color of the transcendental body of Lord Krishna resembled the hue of a newly arrived cloud in the sky. Please visualize. He appeared before them nicely covered by yellow silken garments, with 4 hands like Vishnu, and carrying the different symbols of the club, the conch shell, the disc, and the lotus flower. His chest was marked with a golden line, and the nipples on his chest appeared like the holes of lotus flowers. His eyes appeared to spread like lotus petals of a lotus, and his smiling face exhibited the symbol of eternal peace and prosperity. He wore glittering shark-shaped earrings. His helmet was bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord's necklace of pearls and the bangles and bracelets nicely situated on his body all shone with a transcendental beauty. The Kaustubha jewel hanging on his chest glittered with great luster, and the Lord wore a beautiful flower garland. After so much distress, the kings and princes saw Lord Krishna with his beautiful transcendental features. They looked upon him to their heart's content, as if drinking nectar through their ears, licking his body with their tongues, smelling the aroma of his body with their noses, and embracing him with their arms. See, just by the dint of their being in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all reactions to their sinful activities were washed away. Therefore, without reservation, they surrendered themselves at the lotus feet of Vishnu. So it is stated in Bhagavad Gita that unless one is freed from all sinful reactions, one cannot fully surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord. So all the princes and kings who saw Lord Krishna, they forgot all their past tribulations. With folded hands and with great devotion, they offered wonderful prayers to Lord Krishna. See, this is what the meditation which you are talking about, which Kapil Muni is giving. This is how to see how much trouble the kings and princes were there. But the moment they had the darshan of the Lord, and meditating on each from the lotus feet till the face, all those beautiful things. Then slowly everything goes off. They become so blissful. That's why in through to 3 to 13, all the demigods from the upper, lower, and middle universal planetary systems, they assembled at the altar of the Rajasuya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira. Okay. So after seeing the beautiful bodily features of Lord Krishna, they all contemplated that he was the ultimate dexterous creation of Brahma and creator of human beings. So because everybody thought that Lord Krishna was created by Brahma. But the Prabhupada in the purport says, there was nothing comparable to the bodily features of Lord Krishna when he was present in this world. The most beautiful object in the middle world may be compared to the blue lotus flower or the full moon in the sky. But even the lotus flower and the moon were defeated by the beauty of the bodily features of Lord Shri Krishna. When we visualize the beautiful description, right? And this was certified by demigods, the most beautiful living creature in the universe. So demigods thought that Lord Krishna, like themselves, was also created by Lord Brahma. But in fact, Brahma was created by Lord Krishna. It was not within the power of Brahma to create the transcendental beauty of the Supreme Lord. So no one is the creator of Krishna. Rather, he is the creator of everyone. As it is said in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, the seed verse. Aham sarvasya prabho matas sarvam pravartate. Everything emanates from him. So from this, the whole beauty. So this verses in this chapter talking about from 18 up to 33, no? Every time we say, now we meditate on this, meditate on this, meditate on this. Each verse which we have seen till now. So in this verse, the yogis should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of septum. From his navel, like that. So slowly, and then more verses will come. So this is how the meditation should take place. But meditation should not be on the void or something. Nothing is there, just on the void, right? There's a form. And the form is beautifully described by Krishna. I mean, in all the Bhagavatam verses, so many devotees have described. So we should just follow those. And actually, we can understand easily. So one more thing I want to show, we are talking about this 14th planetary system. I shared one of the screens just to have an idea. See, these are the 14 planetary systems, 14 lokas. And who are the key residents in this? See, first 7 upper planetary systems. The Satyaloka, that is Lord Brahma. Tapaloka is the abode of Tapasvinis, right? Vaibrajas. Then Janaloka, Lord Brahma's son, Sanat Kumaras. Maharloka, saints and great rishis, Sapta rishis. Then Suvargaloka, heavens, Indra, Devas, Gandharvas. Bhuvarloka, sun, planet, stars. Then Bhuloka, where are travelable on feet. Then comes the Patalas, where Atala Loka, ruled by Bala, the son of Maya. Vitala Loka, ruled by Harabhava, a form of Shiva. Then Sutala Loka, King Mahabali rules over Sutala. Remember this, Bali Maharaj's past time. Then Talatala, king by demon architect Maya, Mayadhana. Then Mahatala Loka, multi-hooded Nagas. Rasatala, the home of demons, Danava, Daityas. Then Patala, Nagaloka, ruled by Vasuki. Then of course the other lokas are like Narakaloka, no? 28 different Narakalokas are there. Then Pitraloka, transcendent lokas and Pitrus. Just wanted to show this. So Bhagavatam gives so many details and examples of these things. So we are the middle earthly planet. So thank you very much, Puri Mataji. I'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatra kripa sindhu bhaya vacha. Patidanam pavani vaishnava. Hare Krishna. So within my capacity, whatever is possible, I try to share with all of you. So if you have any questions or anything to share, please go. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna,
much.
Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Ramchandra Prabhu. Such a wonderful, detailing of the Brahma Samhita. We've been singing, I will not say we. I have been singing Brahma Samhita for so many years, but never got into details of this. It was such a nice explanation of the Brahma Samhita. Thank you so much. We're really obliged in that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. It's all Guru's mercy and Prabhupada's mercy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Uttam Prabhu. Thank you very much, Mataji. Nothing else, I will stop here. Hare Krishna. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Namaste.
Dear devotees, if there are no questions, we can end the session. If you have any questions, please ask. Okay, dear devotees. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Dandavat Pranam. We'll see
Thank
you
you.
all tomorrow.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.